The sun began its slow climb. It peaked over the tall, jagged mountains. Golden light spilled into the deep valley. Mist swirled like a ghostly river. It clung to the damp earth. Ancient trees stood like silent sentinels. Their branches reached for the sky. This forest was old, very old. Secrets were hidden here. Dewdrops sparkled on every leaf. Tiny jewels in the morning light. The air was crisp and cool. It carried the scent of pine, and damp soil, and wild things. A symphony of sounds began. Birds chirped their morning songs. Insects buzzed with busy energy. A woodpecker drummed a steady beat. The wilderness was truly alive. Ferns uncurled their delicate fronds. Moss carpeted the fallen logs. Shadows danced as the sun rose higher. This was a world untouched by time, a sanctuary for wild creatures. Every rustle in the leaves told a story. Drama was about to unfold. Suddenly the ground trembled. A low rumbling sound echoed. It was not thunder. This was something powerful, something heavy, moving fast. A family of wild boars appeared. They burst from the dense thicket. A truly formidable sight. What magnificent animals. These were titans of the forest. The lead boar was enormous, a true patriarch of his sounder. His coarse fur was dark, like the earth. Mud caked his bristly hide. His tiny eyes gleamed with intelligence, and a fierce, wild spirit. Two massive tusks curled from his jaw, sharp as daggers, ready for anything. He sniffed the air, ever watchful, a king in his own domain. Behind him the others followed, sows, protective of their young, the piglets striped and playful. They squealed and tumbled, unaware of any danger yet. The boars moved with purpose. Snouts down they foraged for food, digging for roots and grubs. Their powerful shoulders rippled. They were a force of nature. From the distant ridges, a new sound, a sound that cut through the morning calm. It was a chorus of barks, sharp, determined, eager, a pack of hunting dogs. They were on the move, bred for the chase, for the fight. Their howls echoed through the valley, a chilling announcement of their approach. These were no ordinary canines. They moved like a well-oiled machine. Each dog knew its role. Their coats were a mix of colors, browns, blacks, and brindles. Muscles bunched beneath their skin, lean bodies built for speed and endurance. Their eyes burned with a focused intensity. A primal instinct drove them onward. They were relentless, unstoppable, a wave of fierce energy. The lead dog was a veteran. Scars marked his grizzled muzzle, testaments to past battles. He ran with his nose to the ground, picking up the faintest scent. His ears swiveled, catching every sound. He was a master tracker, a skilled hunter, a brave leader. The boar suddenly froze. The lead male lifted his massive head. His ears twitched, his snout flared. He caught a new scent on the wind, a scent of danger, a scent of dog. A low growl rumbled in his chest. The playful piglets fell silent. They huddled close to their mothers. The sows became instantly alert. Their protective instincts ignited. The air grew heavy, thick with unspoken tension. The forest sounds seemed to fade. Even the birds stopped their singing. It was the quiet before the storm, a terrifying, electric stillness. Both groups sensed each other, though they could not yet see. The boars stood their ground, waiting, braced for what was to come. The dogs, too, slowed their pace. The lead hound let out a low whine. He had found his quarry. The scent was strong now, overpowering. He could smell the wildness of the boars, their earthy, musky odor. The pack fanned out slightly. Anticipation rippled through them. Tails lowered, hackles began to rise. They prepared for confrontation. The lead dog broke the silence. A thunderous bark ripped through the air. It was the signal, the challenge. He lunged forward, just a streak of fur. The rest of the pack surged behind him like a wave of barks and growls. They burst into the clearing, eyes locked on the boars. No fear, only fierce determination. The battle had begun. The giant boar met the charge. He didn't flinch, didn't retreat. He let out an earth-shattering roar, a sound of pure primal rage. He lowered his massive head, those deadly tusks aimed forward. He was a mountain of fury, a wall of bristling aggression. He would protect his family at any cost. The first dog reached him, leaping, aiming for the boar's flank, but the boar was too quick, too powerful. He sidestepped with surprising agility, swinging his head in a mighty arc. A tusk connected with a sickening thud. The dog yelped in pain, sent tumbling through the air. It landed hard, momentarily stunned. The clearing erupted into chaos, a whirlwind of fur, teeth, and tusks. Dogs darted in and out, snapping, barking, lunging. Boars grunted and squealed, spinning to face the attackers. The big boar was a whirlwind of destruction. His tusks were deadly weapons. He slashed and jabbed with incredible force. Each movement was precise, calculated. He knew how to fight. Years of survival had taught him well. He turned, spun, and charged, keeping the dogs at bay, protecting the vulnerable piglets. The sows were equally ferocious. They formed a protective circle around their frightened young. Their smaller tusks were still dangerous. They snapped and bit at any dog that dared to come too close. Their maternal instinct was powerful. A mother's love turned into fury. They would die to save their babies. But the dogs were relentless. They were a coordinated unit. One dog would feint, drawing attention. Another would try to attack from the side or from the rear. They nipped at legs and flanks, trying to wear the big boars down. Their jaws were strong, their teeth sharp. They were like persistent shadows, always moving, always attacking. The lead sow saw the danger and charged the dogs, driving them back momentarily. The dogs showed incredible courage. They faced an enemy much larger, much stronger in many ways, yet they did not back down. Their loyalty to the pack was absolute. Their desire to subdue the boars, unwavering. Even when injured, they fought on. A nip here, a slash there. Pain was just a part of the battle. Their spirit was truly unbreakable. The lead dog was everywhere. He directed the pack with barks and movements. He darted in, landed a quick bite, then danced away from retaliating tusks. He was a master of hit and run. He knew the boar's power. He knew a direct hit could be fatal. So he used his speed, his intelligence. He was trying to find a weakness, an opening in the boar's defense. Several dogs bore fresh wounds, scratches and gashes from the sharp tusks. One limped heavily, but still it circled the fray, barking, adding to the pressure. Their sheer numbers were an advantage. They could attack from multiple angles, confusing the boars, dividing their attention. This pack was a family of warriors, fighting as one. The battle raged on. Just as the battle reached its peak, a low rumble started deep within the earth. It was faint at first, almost lost in the sounds of the fight, but it grew stronger, more insistent. The ground beneath their feet began to vibrate, a strange sensation, unnerving. The animals paused, confused. What was this new, unseen force? The rumbling intensified. The trees began to sway unnaturally. Small pebbles danced on the forest floor. A flock of birds suddenly took flight, screeching in alarm, fleeing the area. The boars stopped their defensive grunting. The dogs ceased their barking. A shared look of primal fear passed between the warring species. This was bigger than their fight. A section of the nearby hillside, loosened by the tremor, began to shift. Rocks and soil cascaded downwards, a mini landslide. It crashed through the undergrowth with a deafening roar. Dust and debris filled the air. The path of the slide cut near the battle, forcing animals to scramble for safety. The ground shook one final time, then an eerie silence descended. The lead boar shook his massive head. Dust clouded his vision. He looked at the dogs. The dogs looked back at him. The fire of battle in their eyes was replaced by confusion and caution. The landslide had changed everything. The terrain was altered. Their fighting arena was disrupted. A strange, unspoken understanding passed. No more growls, no more barks. The lead dog, still wary, took a hesitant step back, then another. He let out a soft whine, not of aggression but of uncertainty. The other dogs followed his lead. Slowly, cautiously, they began to retreat. Their focus shifted from fight to flight. The boars, too, felt the shift. The immediate threat from the dogs seemed less pressing than before. The patriarch grunted softly, a signal to his sounder. The sows nudged their piglets, guiding them away from the disturbed area, and away from the dogs. They moved with a new urgency, but not with the panic of defeat. The wild boars melted back into the forest, seeking safer, more stable ground. The dogs, after a final look, turned and trotted away.